Hi, friends, and welcome. I am Ariel, Superstar Director of Nomad Tribe. Hashtag It's Your Move. We also have with us Superstar Director Maggie Hensley's group, Team Ohanahala. We are very excited for another Thursday Weekly Connection. Do you ever have those weeks where you feel like words are really hard for most of the week, and then all of a sudden you're like on it? Today is my on it day, so you are welcome for this. We've got a lot of exciting things happening, but I want to start off as we usually do with some celebrations, what you guys are excited that has happened over the last week in your business, because we want to celebrate with you. So I'm just going to pick who's in order on my screen. Courtney, you are up top. What are you excited about this week? What's been something we can cheer on?
Super excited about all of those announcements that just came on, especially the Harry Potter warmer. And I guess I can shout, I was excited about being active like day 2, and that was without me even following up with anybody. There was just like random PWS orders. So
fantastic. Congratulations. Yay. All right, we'll go to Katie next. What are we celebrating?
Hey guys. I think in our industry we're taught to be really sensitive about the Hey Girl reach outs, right? But we've had so many amazing things come out and so many great grouped product prices that sometimes we kind of have to push through that fear. And I went ahead and I sent out, definitely not the Hey Girl message, but I sent out some, hey friend, I saw this, I thought of you, and here's specifically why I thought of you, and gained 2 new customers yesterday from doing that. So I think sometimes we just have to tweak things, right? The way we say things, but also not get too fear driven that all of this stuff that comes with direct selling kind of gets in our head, because it is what we do. You can see people are on your page, but it is our job to help them kind of match what they're looking at, because maybe they don't even realize what it does, which was the case with one of the customers. So I think kind of pushing through that sometimes is good.
Well, yay, congratulations on 2 new customers. That's a really good point, being able to push through, not being the stigma, but also not being afraid of, I think what gets us caught up the most is what people think of us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and when people are putting it out there about the Hey Girl message, sometimes we just have to get out of our head that the way we're reaching out, right? It's a reach out. It's not a Hey Girl. If you have that established connection, if you have the ability to reach out, I don't see why not. So I think sometimes we have to push through the stigma that we've made in our own mind about it.
Yeah, cool. Yay. All right, Jen, what are we celebrating? Your eyes got big for a second. I hope it's good.
You probably don't want me off muted right now because Davis is having a tantrum. But
hi, Davis.
Can you say hi, Ariel? He's like, no.
No, it's okay. You don't have to say hi to me.
I don't even know.
Okay,
I'm still celebrating being alive.
Okay, that is so good. I love that so much for you. We'll end on that win for you. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, we're getting ready to go to town in a couple of days, so I'm just like
focusing on that. I get it. Kind of in survival mode.
A lot of survival.
We're glad you're here and joining us. Kaylin, what are we celebrating with you today? Like cute shirt for starters.
Thanks. It's getting worn out because it's one of my favorites. But I am celebrating that I have 2 teamies who have kind of kickstarted their business since last week. We kind of chatted about how I can support them in doing that without doing it for them. Mm-hmm. So I added them to a party I have going, and they were both very excited to be able to have a script to kind of copy and paste to start their own relaunch. And then I also had 2 events this past weekend that went well. One of them went really well. One of them went good enough. And I got 2 bookings off of one of the events, which is exciting. So that's my first time getting any parties from an event.
That's fantastic. How did you do that? What was your setup like that it invited that conversation?
So I actually have 3, a third one pending. For the 2 who I kind of talked to about it at the event, one of the girls is a former consultant and she fell in love with a Magnolia linen bar. And I was like, oh, but you need it in laundry because since you've been a consultant, we've added this line and it's amazing. And my sister was there talking it up too. And I was like, you know what, let's get you a party. And then that way you can try the laundry for free. with your host credits. And she's like, yeah, sounds great. So she's going to do a home party, which I'm really excited for. And then the other girl wanted a diffuser, but didn't want to pay $140 for the kind I had displayed. So I was like, we can get that for you free, half off, something like that. Like, let's just get something scheduled and you never know what'll happen. The third person is she and her husband were like really excited about car kits and hadn't tried Scentsy before. And so they were wearing Houston Astros shirts, and I kind of made connections with them like, oh, I didn't get to check, my dad went to the game, blah, blah, blah. And then when I texted her to say like, hey, thanks so much for stopping by my booth and entering my raffle, you didn't win, but, still appreciate you coming by. It was so great to meet you.
Go
She
Astros.
was, yeah, she was going on about like how much they really loved what they bought. And I was like, I would love to get you some free and half off items whenever you're ready. Like, parties are super easy. You just kind of add some friends and do nothing else. And she's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And she has 60 people in her event right now. So
Okay.
I'm like really excited about that. Hopefully it's not just fluff people, but
Yeah.
so there's been interaction and it's looking good so far.
Awesome. Congratulations. Sounds like a great week.
Yeah.
All right, Brandy, what are we celebrating?
I'm 40.
Yay.
I don't know. I haven't really been doing much this week because we've had a lot going on with funerals and all the stuff. So I sold 4 of the Harry Potter bundles in the last 10 minutes. I guess that's a good win.
Nice. Wait, the bundles with the Hedwig and platform or just Hedwig?
The Hedwig and platform.
Okay, Air 5.
So how did you do that? Because I just saw that bundle.
I posted in my group just like the pictures that I saw, and I didn't even go to the news tab. I just posted, and then someone posted that you could get the thing for the bundle. So I messaged all my like Potter people, and I was like, hey, I didn't show this. I just found out that they're releasing this bundle. And they're like, I knew I didn't get the train for a reason. I knew I didn't get Hogwarts for a reason. This is the reason.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, me too, actually. That's why I'm buying. I didn't get Hogwarts because I was just at the point our platform. I was like, I don't know. It'll come back again. And then now. So actually there's 5 with mine, but
That's also, it pays to procrastinate sometimes and really drag your feet.
that's right.
That's a good takeaway from this.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's exciting. I think that's a big celebration, especially with amidst all the stuff you've had going on personally. So that's a big win. Yay. Cynthia, do you have a celebration, or you want to type it in the chat? Or are you able to come live? I'm going to assume she either stepped away or she will type it in the chat. My celebration this week is that I have been consistent. Not necessarily with all the things that I wanted to, but I'm trying to remove that pressure from myself. And I've been consistent with what I can be. And I am proud of myself. And I already have my email ready to go out for the Harry Potter people, because, we had the planning ahead document. So we knew what was going to come. So I already had something. Cynthia got 4 party bags. She got out 4 party bags. Fantastic. That's awesome. So my win is just staying on my game rather than behind my game. So proud of myself for that. Okay, so knowing that we have so much happening this week, I know almost every week we talk about how we're going to market and the things that we're going to do, but are there any lessons that you've learned that maybe haven't worked that you need to pivot from? Because oftentimes we talk about, okay, this is the success, but we forget to talk about, okay, what didn't work and why didn't it work and how can I do it differently or scrap the idea altogether? I know it's a big question. I'm going to lean into the uncomfortable silence because we're going to talk about this a little bit more too, but I unintentionally, I accidentally diminish people because I am always the optimist and the idea giver. And so I'm working on not doing that because I know that I unintentionally shut people down with my optimism and constant flow of ideas. So I'm working on not doing that as much. Okay, Cynthia says in the comments, what isn't working for her is form. What is working is text messages rather than forms. Awesome. I bet that saves you a lot of time too, not having to worry about getting a form together, getting it out. And I think sometimes personally, I rely too heavily on the form and making sure it's just right. So that's a good observation about what is and isn't working. I like that.
I'd say for me is I've been kind of shifting with the team is making them fish rather than just giving it to them. So when we would have news article releases, I would just grab it all, post it in the group. They had just ready information. And so now I'm just posting like, hey, what did you, we have some new articles, who can tell me what they saw? And so it's getting more engagement and it's getting them more comfortable with like looking at their news tab every day and like seeing new stuff and just kind of having them work for themselves rather than me just giving it to them. And I feel like when they have all the information that they found themselves, they're a little bit more like excited to share it. I've noticed, like I see on their pages, they're like writing their own lingo and they're creating their own posts rather than just a copy and paste.
So question for you, how does that feel to put it back in their court?
For me,
For you, how does it feel?
it feels good. It feels like I actually have like helped them learn something rather than just be an information booth for them. And seeing the excitement of them creating their own posts in their own language and things like that has been nice, because then I know that they're actually invested in their business rather than just, oh, she posted it, so I should too.
I like that. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else have things that have not worked for them that they're pivoting from? Okay, Cynthia says she needs a better way to do LTOs. Can you tell me what you mean by a better way to do them? I want to get really clear on that, so I make sure I understand what you're asking. Courtney says she's been really failing on Team Connection this last month. She's found just commenting on their post helps a lot. So I will speak to this one. You have not been failing. You have been in a season of your own personal life where that has not been a priority, and that's okay. Your team is awesome. You have taught them to be freaking wonderful, and it's a reflection of who you are. So you're all good. All right, so a better way to do LTOs. Getting them out and collecting pre-orders. She had 4 customers that shared the info with for Frida and lost. And was that simply because they sold out so darn quickly on the Frida warmers? And you had shared the info with the customers. Was that simply due to a lack of supply? I mean, just a small supply on that one? Because I feel like that was, it's not necessarily a one-off, but that's not the standard for it to sell out that quickly. I saw some nods happening. They agree. You've changed. Okay, Courtney has changed how she's been doing orders lately too. She was feeling overwhelmed with her old style. Did you also used to do the forms and then get the forms out and then, or were you doing something else?
Yeah, I used to do the forms and then the reach out and then go back to the forms and then submit the orders, have it shipped to me, package it, deliver it. And it worked for 5 years.
Yep.
And then I got burnt out and so now I made a change with it that I can either direct ship it to you, or you can come to me and pick it up. And if you come to me and pick it up, you get the discounted and the free shipping. But if it ships directly to you, you don't have to do any driving, and you still get the same goodies because I'll just mail it in the goodies. And I only do local bulk orders 1 or 2 times a month now. So they have to like pay attention to when I'm doing that. And for me, it's helped so much because I'm not driving all over Timbuktu and back every month now.
I think that is a really important note. You can make changes in your business. You don't have to explain yourself to your customers. They don't need your why, right? If you feel like you want to, sure. But I tend to over explain things and then it makes it sound more convoluted than it is. And so just saying, hey, this is the new policy going forward. Let me know how I can serve you. And that's going to be okay, right?
Yep. And they're still going to choose you because they still choose me.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. That's really cool. I love that you did that for yourself too. So not necessarily just based off of pre-orders and sales then, what else has not worked in your business that you've realized once you've given it the full, at least, 90 days of trying something? What hasn't worked and you're like, I'm gonna scrap that, gonna change that for myself because it's not worth my time, my energy, stress levels, money. What have you shifted in your business to make it bring joy into? Yeah, Kaylin.
I have stopped offering so many free kits. And I've just been getting some stock for myself or something that I wanted, or, but almost all of the free kits that I've gifted were kind of not wasted because they got something out of it, but they, ghosted afterwards. And so, if I have somebody specifically who I know is interested, then I will give them a kit when I have it. But if I just have a $500 party and I've stopped like going through the masses saying like, who wants it, because it's a waste of my time.
Have you noticed the quality versus the quantity of your recruits increase?
Sorry, kids in the background. The quality has been better, quantity has been less,
Right.
but it's, more intentional really, but being able to put more focus on the people who are interested in actually maintaining their business and getting something out of their business. It's been better for me because like Courtney was saying, or I think Brandy was saying, like teaching them to fish more than providing them the information. I'm allowing them to ask more questions rather than saying like, here's all this information because you're so new and I just want you to be so excited, even though you just grabbed a free kit, like they're not always excited. And so being able to find the people who are more excited for it and being able to support that.
Yeah, I get caught up in the information overload too. And it's, I forget sometimes it's like drinking water out of a fire hose, that I forget that doesn't provide the space for them to ask the questions and kind of like absorb and work their way through. And it's weird too, being able to find that happy medium of, okay, I'm not going to talk to them versus all of the information, being able to sort that out along the way. And everybody's going to be different too, right? Each new recruit you bring on is going to want information differently. So it's really going to be about having that connection and being able to figure it out, which is fun because there's no one size fits all. So in our group, I asked a couple days ago, what is an obstacle, a specific obstacle that you're facing in your business right now? So it's a little different from the question I just asked, right? What's not working and what are you changing versus what is an obstacle that you're facing? Brandy answered, and you're the only one who's live here with us. Do you mind if I kind of walk through with you what your answer was?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said an obstacle you're facing right now is sponsoring and motivating. Can you help get a little bit more specific on that?
Yeah, just so I do the free kit, and it does well, but it's kind of getting that motivate, like think, how do I want to say this? It's like I had a few people join and rejoin, and they're just kind of doing nothing. And I'm reaching out and I'm knowing their whys and I'm asking them what they want to do and how they want to do it. And, the ones that rejoin know that they only have this month to turn in their 200 PRV and they're at 0. And so, and they have great answers and that they want to do it. And we talk about different, ways to get that 200. I give them lots of ideas. I share in our group, like, hey, can anybody else share some ideas? Because just hearing from me might not be the thing. And they're just kind of all sitting there. So I don't know where my disconnect with them is on getting them that motivation, because when they start and we talk about their why and we talk about why they want to do this and what they're going to do with their commission, and some people say that it's just for like the community, and that's great, but some like, I want to earn a trip. Okay, well, to earn a trip you have to do XYZ, let's work on it together. And then it's nothing. And they're not ghosting per se, but they're just like, well, yeah, I'm working on it. I've told people, like, create a launch party, add me to it. Let's get people excited about it. They haven't invited me to their launch. Another one's like, oh, I get paid, I'll, put my website back up. And then, hey, did you get your website back up? Oh, I've just been busy. So it's like, I just feel that there's just somehow I am not motivating them enough from their initial excitement to a couple weeks in to, get there. And like one girl hit shooting star and she was so excited. She pretty much got it herself, which is fine, during the flash sale, and she wanted stuff on hand. But now she's like, it's not as busy as I thought it would be. And I'm like, well, are you doing personal reach outs? Are you, you can't just post on Facebook. You really can't. It's great. It's another tool, but are you reaching out? Are you reaching out? As a brand new person, you can go to your immediate friends and family and ask them to help you out, ask them to book a party for you, ask them to share a post. Like, you can do that in the beginning, and they're just not.
Have you asked them, so you've gotten their whys, you've gotten, some other questions down, but have you asked them specifically, what's stopping you from launching right now?
No, that's a good question for them.
Would you be willing to try that?
Yeah, I do know one of the girls just said she's not ready to be like live, and she's nervous about doing an in-home party, because I don't do well with online parties. Like, that is one of my big weaknesses. My online parties are awful. I'm way better in person. They can see my excitement. They can smell the stuff. You have to see it. My regular customers know what it smells like. They know what they like. But if you're brand new, you have to be in person. And so I've explained to her, like, these people don't know. Some of them don't even know what it is. So let's do an in-home party. And if I'm available, I will go with you and help you, because I know that's nerve-wracking. And she's just like, I just don't know if I want to do a home party. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Like, what is your goal with this? And you can't just post on Facebook and expect orders to come to you. So yeah, that is a good thing. What is stopping you from launching? I'm willing to do that.
Sometimes too, it helps to make sure that they know that you're putting your leader hat on, right? Because oftentimes we talk to each other as friends because we are friends. And sometimes that line gets a little blurry with, okay, I'm like, are you wanting coaching? Are you wanting a friend to vent to? And so sometimes I found that recently, just asking like, hey, can I put my leader hat on and we can kind of talk through this, making sure they know that that's a shift, so they know where the conversation is going. They can willingly participate and hopefully find answers and help you get curious with them. Because oftentimes our default response is, I don't know, or I've asked everybody, or
yeah,
everybody says no, nobody wants to. And so maybe even diving deeper, okay, who have you asked? Make a list of literally everybody that you have asked.
Okay.
What has their answer been? And getting specific, getting curious, and getting those details, because our brain is going to take that easiest route of, well, everyone said no, guess I'm out, versus oh, well, only this and this person said no. Okay, that's not everybody. Who else could I ask? And being able to move forward from there and make a plan.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, their brains are a-holes. Is what it is. Katie, everything okay over there? You looked very shocked and then ran away.
I have a house full of homeschoolers today that are 15.
Great.
Let me just tell you, it's shocking. There's not a lot that shocks me, but sometimes they are really good kids, but it's very, very loud in here today. So that's why I'm muted most of the time.
Perfect. Love that.
Yes, everything's good, but they brought a Bob Ross positive energy drink. Yeah, I mean, that in itself is worth shocking and pausing for. But it sounds like maybe it, so.
Great.
It's
It's gonna be fine.
we're just gonna stay in here.
That's
Um,
okay.
This Bob Ross energy drink?
It's
Yeah,
called Bob Ross positive energy drink.
Never heard of it.
I'll have to try and, if you can post pictures on this after it's broadcast, I'll have to try and put a picture on it because it's worth looking at. Sorry, not to take us off topic. I would say, because I've just been trying to think since you asked, I would say what's not working for me and what my obstacles are like everything, right? Like, I think sometimes as whatever you like to label this as, in direct selling, as entrepreneurs, as people paving different paths than most other people, it's kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks sometime. And I feel like I am in a pasta making phase of life right now, where it's like, I think I come up with these great ideas, I throw it, and like the whole pot even goes with it. I'm like, God, nothing sticks and the pot's gone too. But then there's other phases where it's like the whole darn thing just sticks in a glob to the wall and you're like, yes, but will it work tomorrow? Maybe not. So I feel like for all of us, kind of what we can provide to each other is the encouragement to keep trying new and different things. And because I don't think that it's any one idea is better than another, but I do think that if we're going to talk about some of the things we're not supposed to talk about, I think some of the worldly things going on right now, you know, there's a shift with money, there's shifts with politics, and we're not going to go into it, but there are shifts occurring right now. And I think that our audiences, right, we're all using the platforms, stories, Facebook. So we can't also be so naive to think that we are the only ones that they're seeing, that are trying to get creative with our marketing, trying to sell a product, trying to show value of what we do, and how it can bring value to their home. So I think sometimes it's just getting out of our head and trying to get down to that real place where if our people aren't responding, I don't mean to be offensive when I say this, but I've just let them have their space then, because I don't know possibly what's going on in their home right now. I don't know what's going on. Mental health is a big thing for all of us, for everybody. We have our good days, we have our bad days. I'm speaking for myself in that as well. And so I've just been trying to nurture the ones that do come along, that do ask questions. I see that as my ticket in, right? It's like, ooh, it's hot today, but it might go cold tomorrow. But while they're open and available to information, I just try and answer their question and encourage them to keep trying, because that's what I'm doing. I wish I had a secret sauce, because I'm trying to run down a big goal this month. And I'd be lying if I say, I mean, I didn't have tears. I had tears this morning. I had tears last night. But as those hot darn things come out your eyeballs, darn it if they don't motivate you too, right? You're like, I can do this. I can do hard things. So I think in just encouraging each other not to give up, the fact that we're all here today, the fact that we're all trying and openly trying to encourage each other, I call that a win. And sometimes maybe that's just what our team and our customers need is, we think these price points are great because they are, but also I don't know what people's Christmases are going to look like this year. They might look different than last year. I don't know what people's, budgets. I do go to Walmart and Target. I'm sure you all do too. And I'm not going to lie. I do go down the Glade aisle because I want to know what their price points are. I want to know what my competition is offering. And sometimes what we do feel is a good price point, unfortunately, they can go find something different at a different price point. So it's so important that we don't shy away from it. But ours is, fundamentally ours is so much better, right? And so sometimes we kind of forget it's not just this flashy thing, because there's flashy things in aisle A7 at Target. It sucked me in yesterday. But the point is reminding them sometimes what we're talking about, people are going into this thing too of like crunchy homes, mental health, purging, no chemicals. So reminding people too what our products are made out of, what our products, the value, maybe why the price point's a little bit more. And in that is this new creative throwing spaghetti at the wall. So apron up, I guess, and we all just encourage each other to get in the kitchen, right? But
Apron
I don't know
up.
about you, but everything that once worked for me, some is still okay, but for the most part, I got to get back in the kitchen. Dang.
Yeah.
So if you're all feeling that way too, I just want to put that out there. Like, you are not alone. It doesn't matter what level, what goal you're running down, how long you've been in, what kind of leader, what position, all that. I think we're all experiencing this apron spaghetti making thing.
And I
No,
think
I-
it's a good point too. Like everybody, just because one thing failed and you need to try something different doesn't mean you're starting over. You're starting from a place of experience. You know what doesn't work for you right now in the season could work again in the future, but being willing to be able to try new things, being willing and open to understanding that, okay, I see that worked really well for Katie, but it's not going to work for me. Oh my gosh, that thing over there works for Courtney, but it's not my jam. Like Brandy was saying, online parties, not for her. In-home parties, like that's her chef's kiss. But figuring out what works for you and understanding that's okay, because I think so many of us didn't start off as entrepreneurs. Maybe that we didn't start this business already having business experience or understanding what an entrepreneur was, or the hard work that it takes and the joy that it can bring and the fun and the experiences, the discipline, the dedication, the hard work. There is the gamut of emotions and everything that comes with this. And I think a lot of people maybe don't realize the full capacity of what an entrepreneur means, what being one is. And so it's being able to understand that, okay, everything I try, whether it works or doesn't, is like another notch in your tool belt, right? Whether it's that stupid tool we never use again, but it's there just in case like somebody else needs it. Or it's a tool that we use repeatedly, like a hammer or a measuring tape. Having those tools in your drawer or wherever you keep tools it's so important to not just throw the whole damn toolbox out if one tool fails you.
Well, and I think like a menu, right? Like a chef, they refine their skill and they put on a menu the things that they can offer you.
Yeah.
But I might think something is delicious, but you might not. But it doesn't mean that what's on the menu is bad. So I feel like we need to remember that with our team is we need to come with this menu of services that we've tried. And if we can't provide a menu, in my opinion, that means we haven't tried enough.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to fail, right? Like, try all these new things. But when your team member comes to you and says, what can I do about this? It's like, here's my menu. Here's what I've tried. Here's the value I put next to it, right? Like a chicken parm is going to be more than like a
Chicken
bake.
nuggets.
Yeah. So like, there's a value place to each one, right? Where it's like, hey, you can post on Facebook, nothing wrong with that. But the value might not be as much as pushing yourself out of that comfort zone and asking for the sale.
Yeah.
You know, following up, doing all these other little things. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, yeah, round conversation today. But when you ask like what's not working and what my obstacles are, it gets really, really difficult for me to put that into context because it's like
Yeah.
together.
Well, and
Like,
honestly, some of the other feedback of people who aren't able to watch live but are catching the replay, their issues are also what Brandy said, sponsoring and motivating, but also getting engagement on their VIP group. Okay, well, helping them make a list because, you know, Courtney said in the comments, having them show their work, what they've tried, what works and what doesn't. I think it's so important to see what you have actually done.
Yeah.
Because again, our brain likes to say, well, I've tried everything. I guess that's it. Have you really tried everything? There's a consultant years ago. She put on a purple wig, got samples in her backpack. She had just moved to a new area and drove around on a bicycle on her kid's bike with a wig on and the backpack, handing out samples to new neighbors to get new contacts. Have you tried that?
Was that you, Ariel?
It was, wow, thank you so much for the compliment. It was not. There was this one gal. That's how I should start every story about me. No, but it was not me. But have you tried everything? Right? What are some outside the box ideas? What are some simple things? Write down what you have done, and then maybe talk with us. Tell us what you've done. Between even just the few of us who are on this call, I bet there's something that all of you have done that I have not, and vice versa. Don't be afraid to ask questions, especially, and even if you are new or seasoned, it doesn't matter where you are in your Scentsy journey. What's the saying, old dogs and new tricks and stuff? Like, you can learn new things. You can create new neural pathways in your brain too that tell you how awesome you are instead of always telling you that you're awful. You just got to keep repeating it. Stay disciplined, keep doing the thing. And the VIP group engagement, okay, what are you doing? What's working, what's not? Maybe the VIP group isn't where you need to spend the most energy, right? Maybe your people are in there because they want to hang out, but maybe they do better reaching out via personal text message. There are so many groups on Facebook, and I keep being added to them without my consent, by the way. So if you're ever trying to join a group, or somebody adds you to a group without your consent, like, I'm always a quick no on those ones. Ask people if they want to join. That's a really big rule for me, is I always offer the invitation first. And if it's not an immediate yes, or if it's a ghost, then it's a no, most likely, right? And that's okay. There are so many groups people are involved in. So what are other ways that you can talk to them? What are other ways you can reach out? That's another reason I've been so consistent with my email marketing. Every week, my emails go out. My customers know to expect them. That's another touch point. Not everybody's on Facebook. Not everybody wants to be on Facebook. What else can you do? Throw some spaghetti at the wall, right? Boil a new batch. That's not how you say it.
But you have to talk like the Muppets, Chef, when you do it, like, you know, like, get in there and like, I mean, because come on, sometimes it's great and sometimes it's frustrating. Let's just talk real. You got to like, give it a good fling, see if it sticks. And when it does stick, like, let your people know, like, because it might not work for others, but it could, right? Like, we
Yeah.
don't have to hold things close to our chest. That's what I love about this group the most. I feel like is everyone is so willing to share
There's no
and share what
secrets.
works and also share what doesn't. And I love that.
Yeah.
For
So with that in mind about obstacles, is there anything else, any other obstacles other people are having? Because everybody who watches the replay might get something from what you are struggling with, especially if we're able to talk it through as a group. You know what I mean? Like several things that Katie just said. I'm going to watch the replay because there were a couple things that she said that I'm like, yep, that's it. So what other obstacles are you guys facing? Mine are internal obstacles. I talked about that last week, but my brain is still telling me like I'm bothering people. And so that's something I'm continually working on.
I would say like burnout too. You really like, it's okay to step back. Like you cannot feel like you have to be on 100% of the time. Like I had to step back this week, and I will be honest with you, there was, I mean, up until 10:58, I was really debating coming because I just want to sit. I just want to sit and not do anything right now. I'm tired. I'm physically tired. I'm emotionally tired. But I was like, you know, it's an hour. I've got a CenturyLink guy coming. Like, I may even get cut off because my internet's getting changed. Like, there was so much. And I'm like, I just want to watch Desperate Housewives and not think. And I have nobody here right now. But then I was like, you know, it's an hour and it's going to give me something that's going to help. So I'm glad I did, because it really has. But you have to be okay with stepping back. You have to. And you can't feel bad about it. And you have to get out of, like you said, out of your own head and just know that you're taking a mental break, a physical, whatever it may be. You cannot just keep going if you're not feeling the passion at the moment. And that's not to give up and just call it quits and be done, but it's to step back and take a weekend, a week, a month. I mean, whatever it may be, to just step back and get yourself better.
And take a breath.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like we're running this freaking uphill race up this giant mountain that is so beautiful. We stop to just appreciate. And then we have that like burning feeling in our chest. And then we just lie down flat and hope that an ambulance comes to get us, right? I mean, that was an extreme analogy, but we've all had those feelings. It's not fun. You don't want to get there.
Well, and I think the fact that every single month is a new race, like that burnout can happen. Like you're like, whew, I got to the end of the month. Awesome. Like I got where I wanted to go. And then it's like, okay, now I get to do this all over again. So that's where those systems can really be helpful so that you don't reach that burnout, so that you can be ahead of your game, ahead of your schedule, and be planning for the next month. But I feel like not lately, I've kind of got that down, but I've always been running till the end of the month, and then it's like I'm burnt, and then I'm running again to the next. So that's why finding out what works and doesn't work for you, so you can let them go and think about something new, like make your new pot of spaghetti, because once you get some things that work, you're able to look forward a couple of weeks or even a month and have your stuff set up. And that's why I really like Scentsy Club too, because that's like, that's one of my big focuses, because it's residual. Like you don't have to work for that. And it's a better feeling. And so take that break that you need, but also let go of those systems that aren't working for you. And that's whoever's watching that is just feeling like nothing's working. Let's reevaluate. Let's talk to your sponsor, talk to your leader, talk to us, like figure out, like, let's come up with a new game plan, because if you're just constantly chasing something, you're going to burn out like really quickly.
Yeah.
So come up with a new game plan, come up with something, give it that 90 days, that 6 months, and really evaluate if it's something that brings you joy even.
I love that.
I mean, packaging orders, does that bring you joy, and adding little goodies and writing handwritten notes? Like, yes, but is it also like, oh my God, I got to put together 50 orders? Like, is that worth it to your mental health to put together 50 orders and go deliver them all? No, I've done the same thing with Courtney. Like, you come to my house now. Like, I can't. I love putting together the orders, but like, I'm not going to drive them all around. I can't. It's not good for my mental health to be driving around with all these psychos on the road all day long and cutting me off, and I have my kids in the car. I got to rush somewhere to get somewhere. And, no, just I'll package your orders and I'll make them cute, but you're going to come get them from my house. Like, drop what's not working, please, to save your own sanity.
And be okay with it. Let yourself be okay with it. And let yourself unburden these shoulds. I should be doing, don't should on yourself. That's gross, In the comments here, Courtney said, in regards to taking a pause and a break, she said she learned that lesson this last month and her team and customers still showed up. Kaylin said the incentive tracker is getting in her way. She's excited and concerned about earning it, that she's not keeping enough focus on the IPAs. Totally get that. And then Cynthia said an obstacle is getting people in front of me. I'd rather do in person, but I've not been in luck with that. And then she said, we always bring her joy, and this weekly meeting fills her cup. So we are so glad you guys are on here, BT Dubs. Like, I know how important and precious your time is. And so I really appreciate your willingness to join us and contribute your awesomeness weekly. So the incentive tracker is getting in your way. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I set my sights really high, of course. Like, I wanted to set a top goal because, like I told my husband, I will earn this incentive. I did not earn last year, but it was my first year and I just didn't really know what I was doing or how to get it. This year, I put a lot more focus on my outline and what I needed to do to get those 45,000 points. And I'm sitting at like 12,000 points, which I'm very proud of because I ended last year at like 11,000.
Hey.
And so I'm very proud of those 12,000 points. And I know that I have 3,000 points coming with the PRV consistency and attending World Tour. So like, I'm keeping that in my brain that like, I'm very close to level 1 and I really want to push for level 2. And mostly because like, I want this to be an opportunity for us to take like a late honeymoon kind of trip. And he's very motivated, like he's very excited for it. He's very excited for me to earn it. But I'm checking it so frequently that I'm like, oh, well, it didn't change. It didn't change from yesterday. And then I dwell on the fact that it didn't change, but I'm not actively making moves to change the number every day. So, I mean, like I do little things, but I'm not doing big things. I'm not doing enough things. Like the vanilla bean collection I have had since June and I still have not sampled them. I pulled my report. I have 17 people who have ordered vanilla bean buttercream that I want to send these samples to, and I still have not done that. Like little things like that. Weekly emails. I did like 5 of them, not weekly, like monthly maybe. And they actually got a decent response. And I have not been consistent with that. And so things like that, I need to just figure out my own self-motivation so that, because I know those things will get me the incentive without looking at my tracker. But I even like texted my sponsor or my director and I said, hey, can I see your incentive tracker? Because I need a kick in my butt and I need to challenge myself to beat you. And she's like, oh, well, I don't look at mine. You probably are beating me. And I was like, oh, well, that's not the response I was expecting. Like, but then it kind of told me like, I check it every single day. And if she's not checking it ever, but she knows she will earn it, then I need to obviously change some things for myself.
So
Like the scale.
what do you think you need to do more of?
I don't even know. Like part of me feels like I need to go dig through sales reports for everybody and find a reason to text every single person a personal message between now and Christmas and get their Christmas orders in. But then again, like what you're saying, like I don't want to bug people because I know they're seeing my posts on Facebook. I know they're getting my project broadcast blasts that when I send certain things out. I know that they get the workstation emails, but I don't know what else I could be doing. Like I'm stuck. I've stuck myself in a place of not knowing.
When you think about having to pull all of those reports, how does that make you feel?
So great. And that's why I haven't done it.
May I ask you to throw that idea away?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you guys, this paper is so crinkled because I bring it up every time. Do you use the 5x5 checklist?
I was using it and then I got really sick. And I haven't really gone back to it.
So,
But I wrote vanilla bean buttercream samples on my list 3 days ago and I haven't touched it.
okay, that's okay. Give yourself some grace. What if all that you needed to focus on were those 5 items daily, check them off, and then whatever else you can get to it? How does that make you feel to think, okay, I just have 5 things to do?
It's definitely more manageable. Like I did a consistent 7 days and I felt really good about it. Like even if it was just that there was a training I wanted to watch, that was one of my to-do list items. Or, you know, closing out a party, that was a to-do list item because I knew it was manageable. And I felt really good about doing those 5 checklist items, except for the connecting with 5 to 10 new people until I read the small print. And then I was like, okay, I can totally do this. And I feel good about it. And so I need to like set an alarm to like go stick it on my fridge or something.
So follow-up question with the connecting with 5 to 10 new leads, because I felt the same way. So I wanted to ask you, what is stopping you from just 5? Don't even think about the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 new people. Do you mostly show up on Instagram or Facebook?
Both equal.
Okay. Does it feel manageable to just go through Instagram and create 5 new connections?
Yeah.
How do you think you could connect with people?
I try to do like a response to stories because that's quick. Like even if it's just a heart reaction or, oh, cute earrings and that, like something simple. And when I do that, they usually like the message or send something back. but then I don't always continue
Mhm.
as in like a, hey, how's your kid? I saw they're 6 years old now, or, something like that, which I do need to get more personal after I've got the initial connection back.
So are those brand new people you've never spoken with, or just people who are like on your follow list that you've like, okay, their story popped up, I'm gonna go comment?
People that would be new customers, but not new to me.
So how would you find new to you people in general?
wanna
Without
do-
even thinking about like making it a sale, without even thinking about that,
Yeah.
what interests you that would connect you with other people?
I don't know. That's the hard part. Like, are you talking about doing like the hashtag search and going through that way?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
What are 5 things that you love that are not Scentsy?
I'm gonna have to think about it.
Do you like to read?
Yes.
What's the
And-
last book you read?
Colleen Hoover, the whole thing, the whole slew of them.
Do you feel like that's maybe a very relevant topic right now that you could search?
Probably.
You feel like there's probably other moms who you could connect with?
I need to find like a 2 under 2 moms group just for Colleen Hoover discussions, because there's 2 things in one.
Hey, love that. That's a good idea. That's totally an option. Moms with 2 under 2. That's a second thing. Book lover, mom of 2 under 2. What else? What else is relevant in your life?
Teachers who quit,
Teachers who quit.
educators who quit the school
Oh.
system.
Hey, that's legit. I
Yeah,
bet you're definitely
big
not
right
alone
now.
there.
No, there's a lot right now.
Yeah. So do you see where I'm
I know.
going with this?
Yeah.
Those are all points of connection and the point of social networking too is not to just make the sale, right? We want to be able to have those connections because that's what the algorithms want. And what if we find our new best friend who loves Colleen Hoover and is a mom of 2 under 2? Right?
Yeah.
So think of things like that are outside of the Scentsy sphere that we are constantly focusing on for our business. When you're checking that box off, think of, man, who would be fun? Who do I think I could connect with who likes this specific thing? Like the last time I did the 5 to 10 new leads, I had finished a book and I literally put that hashtag for that book in. And then I went and found new people. And I was like, man, they've got a lot of good, these are like really good bookstagrams or whatever they're called. And so I started following them. And so I also kept a list of who I followed so that I can go back and make sure to stay relevant and talk to them. Because their vibe was really neat. And I feel like I could connect with them on other books and other things more than just that one comment I left, hoping that would, just check the box. Does that help? Does that feel less daunting now when you're looking at, oh my God, 5 to 10 new leads? It's supposed to be fun. That one specifically, I think, is meant to be
The fun one.
Yeah. And honestly, that's my biggest frog on the group on that list too. It's remembering like I could connect with new people. Maybe my new best friend is out there, I hope that was helpful. Cynthia in the comments said that 5 things that remind her of you: teacher, organizer, mama, Texas, and funny posts. So if you can't think of what things about you are like sparking you joy, ask your friends. Like, hey, when you think about me, like totally Scentsy related, what do you think about? That's a fun one to do. And you'll see people do that in the Scentsy world from time to time. You'll see that post cycle through, but I think it's really important. And then figuring out what your niche is within those things. Like, okay, so these people think about me when they think about these things. Maybe this one and this one aren't true, but these 3 things for sure. And I love them. So lean into them and use that on your Instagram account so that in your grid, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, but in your 9 grid, when you see those 9 things, when you first go to somebody's profile, all 9 of those things should be easily identified as, oh, this is Ariel. So like Harry Potter should always be in there. Scentsy should always be in there. Reading books or making bread. My kids, I try not to post my kids too much on social media though. So that one's like but figuring out what your 9 grid looks like will help you, or figuring out what your things that bring you joy are will help that. And so if you kind of keep that analogy in mind of, okay, what's on my 9 grid? Am I representing who I am and what I love beyond just Scentsy? Then you're going to be good. Yeah. That was a really good conversation. I really appreciate you bringing that up. I feel like a lot of people could benefit from that. Because I know, especially when I was a mom of 2 under 2, it was freaking hard. And if you can connect with other people who are in that hard, who have recently been in that hard, it makes life a bit easier. Yeah. Cool. All right. Does anybody else have any things that they want to go over? Things that they're avoiding? What are you avoiding in your business? You know, maybe we'll start that question next time. Because we all know what we should be doing, but what are we avoiding?
I have a question about what you guys are doing with the, because Keelan, you brought it up about the vanilla bean buttercream. I too, just to make you feel better, have had those same samples sitting in my office since SFR. And I would love to get something going with that. So I did see the printout. Someone did put that in Nomad a little bit ago, where it has all of the different areas where you could put a wax sample. But my next question is, so do you guys use like the little baggies and staple something to it? And then
Yeah,
how do
or-
you mail that?
Yeah, or glue
Um,
dot. Yeah.
And so is that literally what you do? And then do you put it in an average size envelope and ship that for a stamp or 2? Like, can someone walk me through how you're doing that?
You totally can. So anytime you make like a felt sample, you do a super flat, thin felt sample, and you just line them up on a 6 by, or how many cents are there? 4? Just line them up side by side by side. And if you
Staple
print
on
it on like a half sheet of paper,
Uh-huh.
so if you have it on a half sheet, you can literally then just fold that half sheet in half. Boom, 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 boom. 1 stamp.
Put them in
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
All right.
Uncomplicate that.
Okay.
What I did last month, what I had my assistant do, was make these custom 6-pack samples because I wanted to try the 2 new bricks that are awful. I do not like them. So I had her put 2 new bricks in here and then all 4 of the vanilla bean samples, and I made labels. And but those only went to my club subscribers and like some special VIPs who are big spenders. That's specifically where those ones went. So that's another option if you want, but like the felt samples and getting it out in an envelope done is better than overthinking and leaving it in your pouch for the next year, you know?
Mhm. Agreed.
Yeah.
For Lang-
This
that-
is the one that I got.
Yes,
Katie,
that's, yes.
and it's when you cut it down and it fits right. You don't have to fold nothing. You just glue dot it or staple it.
Oh, that's
and it
3.
gets
Okay.
right in the envelope. Yeah, it's 3 to a thing.
Perfect.
Check
So
that
you just
out.
glue dot it. I staple the baggie.
Yeah.
Or glue dot. Glue dots work too.
Did you
Yep,
make
just-
that?
No, this I found it on a somewhere. I think I have the. I don't think it was a Canva one. I'll see how I did it. I might have just screenshotted it and kind of made it my own space, but I will put this. I will send one over.
Thank
but
you.
yeah,
Because
of course.
the like new scents, they had the scratch and sniff stickers. Okay, try and say that. Scratch.
I guess.
They had the stickers and I mailed them that way. And I felt like I had success with that. But I have not had the greatest success with mail. I've gotten a lot returned. I've had some issues with it. And so I guess I'm just on, but I don't use pirate ship. Is that what y'all are using too?
For packages, for envelopes, I just use the stamp.
Yeah, it was, I even like got on Amazon and did like the standard for each
Yeah.
holiday color. And I had them returned for extra postage.
Did you weigh it?
Yes,
That'd be less than an ounce.
yes, took them to the post office, had them weighed, had them use their metric stamps. Guys, this took me forever. And I had probably at least 15 returned.
I would have taken him back to the post office and said,
Yeah.
listen, I had you guys do this. I don't owe anything because it was done at your system.
So I don't know if like something shifted or like,
It shouldn't matter. I
Yeah.
did buy on Amazon or somewhere a while ago, one of these, you know, the little, but if they did it at the post office, that should be,
Yeah.
I'm I'm ticked for you.
Well,
But like, this is like the thickness of what it should be.
okay. I mean, I'm willing to keep trying that because I did get amazing return, like people saying, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you know, I want these scents and whatnot. So I do think that's the way to go, right?
Yeah.
And something I used to do that you all talked into is I used to do Popeyes. Like I
Yeah.
would literally physically take these around. And so this last month, I did a mail Popeye instead of taking it.
Yeah.
However, I did the exact same Popeye, just modified for my team. Those that had been like active and above, just like I don't do it all the time, but this was just like a cute little pair of like pumpkin earrings, really easy to ship, and hey, great October or whatever, September. And every one of my team members who received it thanked me. I didn't get one return from any customer of a thank you, a sale. So when y'all look at what you do, make sure you take a minute to go back and see what your ROI is. Because not that it cost much, it took my time and my effort. It really didn't cost a lot, but it's not working. It worked great with my team. They were so appreciative. They all took like pictures and sent like a thank you. I was like, wow, who knew? This very inexpensive reach out, but none of my customers, and I even for my customers supplied a coupon, which I don't do normally. But with it being fall, I gave them one opportunity to get their fall scents at a slight discount, and I did not have one person redeem their coupon. Not one. So if a box of mail shows up on my doorstep tomorrow, that would equate a lot more of what happened. No, but so just remember in this whole conversation, just to wrap up what I was saying about Popeyes too, is make sure you take a minute to do your return on investment
Yes.
ROI on what you're doing for yourself too, because a one stamp envelope with some samples that you can do while you watch Desperate Housewives. I know I'm going to watch The Crown and do it. Your ROI is probably going to be much greater than taking 2 or 3 days of running around little bags of thank yous.
Mhm.
That'll work. That'll work
That's
for
a
me.
really good point. Always think about your ROI. Put your CEO, CFO,
Either.
Chief Financial Officer. Yeah. Put your big wig hat on as a business owner and understand what your investment is. Keep track of your numbers so that you can make sure that you are not spending money before you make money. Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys, we are just a little past the top of the hour. Thank you guys so much for your time. I feel like there were so many good conversations today. Next week, we are going to be talking about what you're avoiding. And then the following week is Thanksgiving, so there will be no call. But we'll hopefully see you next week. Jen, we love you. Safe travels. Happy graduate ceremony. What's it called? Graduation ceremony? That sounds too simple.
Yes. It's my commencement ceremony, but yes.
Commencement. That's what it was.
And
Happy
girl, Selma
commencement.
2.0 looking sassy over there.
Good.
Thanks.
All right. Guys, have a fun rest of your week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, friends.